Sometimes, life connects people in ways no one can explain. When a little girl pointed at a portrait in a billionaire's mansion and shouted, "That's my mom," the truth that followed brought everyone to tears. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more heart-touching while emotional stories that will remind you that kindness always finds its way home. The sun was just rising over the quiet streets of Atlanta, Georgia. The birds sang their morning song, and the soft golden light touched the glass windows of a massive white mansion that stood at the end of the avenue, home of billionaire businessman Mr. Andrew Cole. Andrew was a man who had everything: wealth, fame, respect, but inside, he carried a hollow emptiness that no amount of money could fill. He had lost his wife, Clara, 10 years ago in a tragic car accident. Since then, his heart had never healed completely. He spent his mornings alone, sipping coffee by the large window that overlooked his garden. Every morning, he saw the same thing: the gardeners trimming hedges, the staff setting breakfast, and a world that looked perfect but felt lifeless. That morning, however, something unusual caught his attention. Outside his gate, a little girl, no more than 6 years old, was standing with a red basket filled with candies, nervously looking around. Andrew stepped outside. "Hey there," he said kindly. "Are you lost?" The little girl looked up, her big brown eyes wide and innocent. "No, sir, I was just trying to sell these candies to help my grandma." Her voice was soft, honest, and carried the kind of innocence that touched something deep inside Andrew. He smiled. "Candies? You made these yourself?" She nodded proudly. "Yes, my grandma taught me. I call them Happy Pops. They make people smile." Andrew chuckled, taking one candy from the basket. "I could use a smile today." The girl giggled. "Then this one's on the house." As he placed a few dollars in her basket, he noticed the girl's simple but colorful dress, her shoes a bit worn, and her tiny braids neatly tied. Something about her reminded him of someone, but he couldn't place who. "What's your name?" he asked. "I'm Amara," she said. "What's yours?" "I'm Andrew," he replied. "Nice to meet you, Amara." Before he knew it, they were chatting like old friends. Amara told him about her school, her dreams of becoming an artist, and how she helped her grandmother every weekend. When she was about to leave, Andrew stopped her. "Wait, I have something to show you. Would you like to see a real art collection?" Her eyes sparkled. "Art, like paintings?" "Yes," he smiled. "Come on in." The guards hesitated, but Andrew nodded to them. "She's my guest." Amara followed him inside, her eyes widening at the beauty of the mansion: crystal chandeliers, marble floors, and golden light spilling through the tall windows. "Wow," she whispered, "it's like a fairy tale house." Andrew laughed. "Maybe a lonely one." They walked down the hallway where portraits of beautiful women hung, art from different eras. Then suddenly, Amara stopped. Her basket of candies slipped from her hand, scattering across the floor. Her eyes filled with shock. She pointed at one of the portraits, a woman with a gentle smile and kind eyes wearing a red dress. "That's my mom," she cried out. Andrew froze. "What did you say?" he whispered, his voice trembling. "That's my mom," Amara repeated, tears welling in her eyes. "Grandma has a picture just like this at home. Her name is Lena." Andrew's knees almost gave way. He turned to the portrait. It was Lena. But how could it be? Years ago, before Clara entered his life, Andrew had been in a terrible accident. He was trapped under a collapsed bridge after a storm. No one stopped to help, except one young woman who risked her life to pull him from the wreckage. Her name was Lena Brown. He had never seen her again. She disappeared before he could thank her. And now, years later, her daughter stood right in front of him. Andrew's hands trembled. "Where is your mother now, Amara?" The girl looked down. "She's gone, sir. Grandma said Mama went to heaven when I was a baby." Andrew felt a tear roll down his cheek. He knelt down at her level. "Your mother was the bravest woman I ever met. She once saved my life." Amara blinked. "She did." "Yes," Andrew said softly. "And I never got to say thank you." Later that day, Andrew insisted on taking Amara home safely. She led him through the narrow streets of an old neighborhood, small houses with faded paint, children playing in the yards, laughter echoing in the distance. When they arrived, Amara's grandmother came out, wiping her hands on her apron. "Amara, you scared me, child. Where have you been?" "I met Mr. Andrew," she said excitedly. "He has Mama's picture in his house." The grandmother froze, her face pale. Andrew recognized her immediately. "Mrs. Brown, ma'am," he said respectfully, "I think we've met before. Years ago, your daughter saved my life. Tears-filled Mrs. Brown's eyes. Yes, Lena told me about you before she passed. She said you were the man trapped under that bridge. Andrew's voice broke. I never forgot her kindness. She was an angel, Mrs. Brown sighed. She always believed kindness was a treasure worth more than gold. She saved many people during her life, but fate wasn't kind to her. Over the next few weeks, Andrew kept visiting Amara and her grandmother. He brought food, clothes, and books. But more than that, he brought laughter back into their home. Amara's bright spirit reminded him of everything he had lost, and everything he could still give. One day, while walking in the park, Amara asked him, "Mr. Andrew, do you miss someone?" He smiled sadly. "Yes, I miss a lot of people. But lately, I think I've found someone who makes me smile again." "Who?" she asked curiously. "You," he said, smiling. She laughed and threw her arms around him. "Then your family now." Those words melted his heart. Andrew started supporting Amara's education. He enrolled her in one of the best schools in Atlanta and set up a scholarship fund under her mother's name, the Lena Brown Foundation for Hope. Every weekend, Amara would visit him at the mansion. She brought her drawings and painted little cards for him. One day, she gifted him a small handmade frame with a drawing of a sun and two people holding hands. Underneath, she had written, "Family isn't about who you're born to, it's about who cares for you." Andrew couldn't hold back his tears. Amara grew into a talented young woman, inspired by her mother's courage and Andrew's kindness. She became an artist, her first exhibition dedicated to her mother's memory. In front of hundreds of guests, Amara stood proudly on stage beside Andrew, now her godfather and mentor. "Years ago," she began, "a man showed me that love and gratitude can turn strangers into family. My mother's kindness saved his life, and his kindness saved mine." The audience rose to their feet in applause. Andrew smiled, proud and humbled. For the first time in years, he felt that the empty space in his heart had finally been filled, not by wealth or success, but by love that came from the purest place, a child's heart. Kindness never disappears, it finds its way back, sometimes through the next generation. If this story touched your heart, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more emotional and inspiring lost stories that remind us, humanity still lives among us.